And Joe Burrow comes back from the toe injury last week, leads the Bengals to a win, and we get a matchup of two of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, and it comes at perfect time if you're Cincinnati. They've kind of made a habit these last couple years of needing to go on these late season runs to give them a chance to sneak into the playoff. Despite winning their final 5 a season ago, they missed the playoffs. Can they do it this year? Can they go on a late season run? Of course, getting one of the best signal callers in all of football, Joe Burrow, back, healthy, a big road game in the snow. How great is this?
I know the Bills are running the football like crazy, but when you think Buffalo, you still think Josh Allen.
Yeah, and listen, make no mistake about it. Despite this being a very different style, it looks very different than early Josh Allen era where he's in the gun and every ball's in his hands and he controls the game. This is the best style for Sean McDermott, the head coach, and Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator. This fits their roster. This fits their play style. But make no mistake about it. Crunch time, critical moments, that ball is going to be in Josh Allen's hand.
And it has to snow. Crunch time.
Of
critical
course.
moments. December. This is what we're going to do. We've got two quarterbacks who have been great down the stretch in their careers on days like this. Josh Allen for the Bills. Joe Burrow for the Bengals. Head-to-head when you come back on Fox. .30 here in Orchard Park at Highmark Stadium. Getting close to the opening kick. First down to the field. Here's Pam Oliver.
Yeah, frigid temperatures for this ball game here today, Joe. Highs barely reaching the 30s. Snow is expected throughout. The wind should not be a factor. On the injury front for the Buffalo Bills, defensive end Joey Bosa, he will miss this game. He is dealing with a hamstring injury. A dislocated elbow keeps linebacker Terrell Bernard out, and right tackle Spencer Brown will not play because of his shoulder. On the Cincinnati side, it is Trey Hendrickson who will miss a 4th game as he deals with a hip injury. Back upstairs to you, birthday boy.
All right, Pam, as Zach Taylor's team still has an outside shot at the playoffs, 2 games back of Pittsburgh and Baltimore in the north. And after today, the easiest remaining schedule in the AFC, after today, his team should be favored every game that they play. Bills on the other side. Sean McDermott, his team started 4-0, but 4-4 since then. Their streak of 5 consecutive division titles in jeopardy with New England at 11-2. And the Bills trying to solidify their wild card standing. They would be the 7th seed if the playoffs began today. Oh, after spending last season in Miami. But Joe Burrow, we mentioned it off at the top, 1-8 without him this season. They've won 8 in a row. You got to go back to December 2nd of last year to find the last game that the Bengals lost when Joe Burrow was the starting quarterback. And you go from, man, what a disaster of a season to, wait a minute, we still got some life. And they're going to be favored in every game after this week. Can they steal a win today against Buffalo? Burrow and Allen have gone head-to-head twice. Joe Burrow's gotten the better of Josh Allen both those games. Yeah, an almost perfect combine in the first quarter in this game. 10 out of 11, 7 of 8 for Burrow. Allen was 3 for 3 on their opening drive. Story of that first quarter for the Bengals, 4 for 4 on 3rd down. They're going to start the second quarter with a 3rd and 11. Time for our first game break of the day. Here's Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Joe. Steelers down 3 in a battle for first place in the AFC North. 3rd and goal. Aaron Rodgers calls his own number. Steelers over the Ravens 7-3. Joe.
When it's snowing, it doesn't really affect your grip on the ball too much. Defenses slow down. The offense knows where they're going. The defense doesn't. So I always feel like the offense has an advantage in that situation.
Easy for Snow Burrow to say, born in Ames, Iowa, spent a few years in Fargo, North Dakota, then grew up in Ohio. He's been playing in the snow, playing in the cold weather throughout his career. 9 out of 10 in the snow today, and his team's got a 14-3 lead.
Week 14 continues later today on CBS and Fox, followed by Sunday Night Football as the Texans face the Chiefs on NBC, and concludes with Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC, plus the Monsters Fun Day Football Allcast. Then Week 15 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. Stream games live on your mobile device with NFL Plus.
We're talking about how unique this guy is. There's statistical proof of it right there. First guy in NFL history with 3 seasons where he's got 20 touchdown passes, 10 rushing touchdowns. Only Matt Stafford more touchdowns this year than Josh Allen. For 3 and a game break with Carissa.
Thank you, Joe. Jags Colts tied. Trevor Lawrence
Going to put this one just over the defender to Jacoby Myers. Jags lead this one 14-7, but bad news for Colts fans. Daniel Jones, who's already battling that left leg injury, went out with a non-contact right leg injury. Riley Leonard in at quarterback now. Joe?
That division as Burrow and Allen face off for the third time. They met in the divisional round in the 22 playoffs. Burrow had 2 touchdowns here in nasty weather and a blowout win against Allen and the Bills. And then at home in 2023, season-high 348 yards and 2 touchdowns for Burrow. Allen had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown, but was picked off. And the Bengals won that one 24-18. So you know Josh Allen would love a chance to get at Joe Burrow here. These guys, 2 of the top quarterbacks in the league, 2 of the top quarterbacks of this generation. College hoop season is off and rolling on Saturday. Fox Primetime Hoops returns with a big one. Number 3 Michigan against Maryland. 8 o'clock Eastern, Saturday on Fox. Bengals have a 10-point lead. The Bills have it with a 2nd down and 5 from the Cincinnati 45. And they're going to...
Coming up on the Verizon Halftime, we'll get you caught up as to what has happened so far today here in Week 14. You were excited to say something?
Well,
you look like.
Look, I told you last week, did I not, that we were going to decorate the place. And I had a little help. Hey, look, guys, I managed to get Santa's hat up there. Ooh. Well, you're the only one could have got it up there.
We'll see you at the half with these guys.
See you at the half.
The best time of year. 21-11, closing seconds of this first half, and this Bills team that has been struggling to really get things going. 500 over the last month plus, 8-4 overall. No longer focused on winning the 6th consecutive division title. Now it's just about getting into the playoffs as they sit precariously with that 7 seed and trail by 2 scores here going into the break. And some boos rain down from these Bills fans.
They're spoiled.
Hey, they have been.
10 seconds left on the 25-yard line. What are the thoughts? I know Josh Allen's good. I'm not sure if he's that good.
First half stats are brought to you by Taco Bell. Another look at this quarterback matchup. Both guys playing high level. 13 out of 18 for Joe Burrow. 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen 9 for 13 with a touchdown of his own. We get you to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Verizon Halftime, which begins now. It's today's game flow presented by Progressive as we get ready to start this second half in Orchard Park on a snowy and cold Sunday afternoon. We welcome you back inside. Joe Davis and Greg Olson. And it's not like the Bills are playing badly. It's just they're trying to keep up with Joe Burrow and these Bengals.
Yeah, right now that's what's putting the pressure, especially on this Bills defense. They're playing well on 1st and 2nd down. The issue is they've forced 8 third downs. And Joe Burrow's converted 7.
Yeah.
So that's really been the difference in the game. So Buffalo in this second half find ways to continue to own 1st and 2nd down. And when you force 3rd and long, they got to get off the field. They've got to get the ball back to Josh Allen and this Bills offense and make sure they maximize possessions here in the second half.
You know, the Bills have lost 25 consecutive games and given up 21 points in the first half. That's the longest active losing streak. 21 points allowed in the first half here. That's the most in the month of December under Sean McDermott, who's in his 9th season as the head coach. These Bills have been dominant this time of year. 23-4 over the last month of the regular season, the last 5 years. On the return, here comes Ray Davis. Ray Davis is stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Down to the field, here's Payne.
Yeah, Joe Burrow with that impressive first half. I talked to Sean McDermott about it. He said, yeah, he did acknowledge the kind of game that Burrow's having. He says, we just got to do a better job. As for his own offense, he said, you know what, we've got to, when we get in that red zone, we have got to come away with touchdowns. As for Cincinnati, Zach Taylor, he loves what he's seeing so far. He really was complimentary of the offense's protection of Joe Burrow. Now, something that is developing, T. Higgins, he remains in the locker room. He is being evaluated for some sort of injury. I'll get clarification and up to you as soon as possible.
All right, Pam, it was a bit of a surprise to see him back on the field as quickly as he was after hitting his head on the turf, dealing with a concussion, but back in there. We'll await Pam's update on that. So this 3rd and short. This is exactly how you had the AFC East drawn up, right? This is what you knew it would look like.
Exactly right. We all knew the Patriots were going to be sitting at the top, looking at a division title for the first time in a long time, and I guess we did think the Jets would be at the bottom. I guess that
we had that part.
I think that part we had, but pretty remarkable turnaround. It seems like every given year, the team goes from last to first in any given division, and this AFC East looks a little bit different than in years past when Buffalo's dominated.
Yeah, last time the Bills failed to win the division, Josh Allen's 2nd season, 2019. 3rd down. Josh Allen with that perfect first drive of the 2nd half, almost dead even with Joe Burrow on the day. 13 out of 18 for Burrow, 13 out of 17 for Josh Allen, separated by just 6 yards. What a fun game this is turning into. 21-18, Bengals in front. After that touchdown drive to begin the half for the Bills. Well, this has become part of the Bills' identity in these dominant seasons of recent years. 12-1 in the month of December. The last few years, best in the NFL. By far the best scoring margin this time of year in the NFL. They've done it with a great turnover margin. That's #1. You know, making that new stadium over there, but couldn't go totally indoors. Couldn't make it too nice for teams to come here and play. It's all part of the deal for the Buffalo Bills. 5 consecutive division titles. Awesome Knox in our first game break of the 2nd half. Here's Carissa.
Thank you, Joe. Ravens down 17-3 in a battle for first place in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson takes it in for his first rushing touchdown since week 1. Pittsburgh still up 17-9 to start the 3rd quarter. Joe?
Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, presented by Nationwide, recognizes players whose passion to impact lives extends beyond the game. And this year, the Bengals Man of the Year, Ted Karras. For the Bills, Dion Dawkins. The Man of the Year will be announced at NFL Honors Thursday, February 5th. Start of the 4th quarter here in Buffalo. Fox College Hoops Friday delivers a huge SEC Big East matchup next week. Texas battles solo ball and 5th-ranked UConn, all starting on Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox. 3rd down and 4 for the Bengals coming here from the 44. Check in with Carissa.
Thank you, Joe. Steelers up 4 on the Ravens. Aaron Rodgers dumps it off to Jaylen Warren. He's going to do all the work. Goes 38 yards untouched for the score. Steelers on top 27-16. Almost the start of the 4th there. Joe?
Rattled. If you happen to just join us, you have missed a thriller of a ball game. You got the top 2 quarterbacks perhaps in the league right now going head-to-head, and they've both delivered.
They've been incredible. 3rd downs, high-level scramble play. This is quarterback play, to your point, other than the last night. The rest of the game is about as good a quarterback play as you can have on both sides of the ball, and it just feels a one-score game with one of these quarterbacks is the way it should be.
Well, prior to his last 2 pass attempts, Joe Burrow in his career against the Bills, 7 touchdowns, no picks, and now 2 interceptions, back-to-back plays as this game has shifted in a hurry. It had been all Bengals. They had led from the start. Josh Allen with the longest run of his career, 40-yard touchdown right there to get him to within a score. And then Christian Benford, a 67-yard pick 6. Although you need to watch the clip of that to really understand what that pick 6 looked like. The next play, a tipped ball, and an interception for A.J. Epinesa. So the Bills have it, leading this game for the first time. 5:03 left, and Burrow hoping for another shot over on that Bengals sideline. James Cook now 77 yards on the day, having a career year. 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season. Not just the yards, but the volume now. Only Christian McCaffrey has carried the ball more than James Cook has this season. And, of course, Swarm Buffalo's has got to be cooking wings, huh?
No doubt. Now, I'll be real curious here. You know, if you're James Cook, you're in that huddle and you're saying, man, give me another shot. What is it? I promise I'm not going to reach the ball for the goal line, but let me finish this thing off. Be curious whether they get under center and take the Josh Allen run off the table, or what we've seen over the years is keep him in gun and keep him alive.
You got your 2 plays here, right? So 39-34. Bengals had led this entire game until early on in the fourth quarter when it swung in a hurry. 21 unanswered for the Bills over a 4-minute span. And outside of 2 passes, back-to-back passes, Burrow's been awesome. But those back-to-back throws critical. One of them a pick 6 for Christian Benford on a corner blitz where he just jumped off and picked it off. And took it back 67 yards. The next pass intercepted as well. Josh Allen just kind of lurking there, playing a steady game, but has made some big plays for him here in the second half.
All right, so let's talk through this final 2 minutes and 13 seconds. The Bengals have elected not to onside kick. Remember, at the end of the game, they would take the return unit. It would look more of like a traditional kickoff that we're accustomed to, but they're going to elect to kick this deep. Think back, we said you want to score your first score on top plus side of the 2-minute. They can now stop the clock 2 times, a timeout, a 2-minute. And what they don't want to do is onside kick. If they do force a stop, it's a much longer field position game, knowing they need a touchdown.
Well, snow falling. This has been Buffalo's time of year, trying to win a 12th consecutive December-January home game and trying to do it in comeback fashion today.
Is having quarterbacks like Josh Allen behind center, because when most teams are just going to walk out of this stadium and say we're going to rely on our defense, critical moments of the game, the ball is going to continue to be in his hands.
And as good as any quarterback in a long time, Josh Allen, you don't know how many chances you're going to get with him in his prime. And enough pieces around him to win the whole thing. And the Bills' first step, they just got to get in. And that was not a sure thing coming into the day. Sitting at 8-4 in the last playoff spot, but solidified that standing a little bit. Seeking their first Super Bowl trip since the early 90s in those 4 in a row. And, of course, hungry for their first Lombardi trophy ever. They think they've got the guy to bring it here. And Josh Allen, 39-34. He and the defense orchestrate the comeback win today. Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles has it for the State Farm Game Break.